Good afternoon, everyone. Treasure Troller here. Welcome to another edition of Small Town Murders, not the podcast. Today we are back in White Cloud, Michigan, and we are going to cover the solved but unsolved case of a young girl by the name of Amanda Lankey. Amanda was 13 years old, and she had previously lived in Florida with her family. They had moved back to White Cloud, and they had been up here for about 6 years. And in 2004, the summer of 2004, they decided to move back to Florida. Amanda's immediate family had moved back down there, and Amanda was spending some of the summer here in White Cloud living at her grandparents' house. And everything was fine until an overnight stay at one of her friend's house on June 20th of 2004. Now, the sleepover took place at this home. The address is North Evergreen, but actually this right out here is M37. The home was owned by a gentleman by the name of Cecil Wallace. And it was in the early morning hours of the 21st when the family noticed that Amanda was gone and that the bedroom window was opened. So people began to look for Amanda. Amanda's grandparents were notified, and later that day on the 21st, her grandfather filed a missing persons report. Now, from the beginning, there was no reason to believe that there had been foul play, although some may disagree with that. Amanda was considered a runaway. So Amanda was considered a runaway, notwithstanding the fact that had she left the house on her own accord, she would have left in her pajamas. But there was some reason to believe that Amanda possibly had left on her own, or she was a runaway. First, it appeared that she had developed, or may have developed, an online relationship with someone with a rather sinister screen name, but also people in the community had reported seeing Amanda. But all of that changed on July 6th, approximately 2 weeks after Amanda had been reported missing. Out here in the Manistee National Forest, off this trail, a group of mushroom hunters found the remains of Amanda. And the case quickly turned from a missing child to a homicide case, and the heat was turned up on Cecil Wallace. So the murder investigation ramps up. Cecil Wallace is looked at extremely hard, but no charges were ever filed against Cecil, and Amanda's case went cold for 7 years. Now, it wasn't for a lack of effort on law enforcement's part. They conducted over 700 interviews, several polygraph examinations, but none of them led to arresting anyone for the case. Now, I think there's a lot of people in the area that felt that Cecil was good for the crime, but nonetheless, no charges were brought. It wasn't until 7 years later when law enforcement finally caught a break. It came by way of a lady in her mid-20s who lived in Texas. She was surfing the internet and came across Amanda's story and found a lot of similarities to her story. The first one was that she was approximately Amanda's age, and she also lived in White Cloud. Second was she had also spent the night on a sleepover at the Cecil Wallace residence. And third was she was sexually assaulted by Cecil Wallace. Now we're talking about two stepdaughters here. She had spent the night with sleepover with one stepdaughter, and of course Amanda was with a different stepdaughter of Cecil's. So this lady had contacted the stepdaughter that she knew. She contacted the Lankey family, and she also contacted law enforcement officers. And on October 28th, 2011, Cecil Wallace was charged with 3 counts of sexual assault with girls between the ages of 13 and 15. These were charges from approximately 1998 to 2002. Now the stepdaughters deny anything happened. Nonetheless, Cecil was brought up on charges. On November 5th, Cecil bailed out of jail, and he had a preliminary hearing scheduled 5 days later on the 10th of November. But that trial never took place. Prior to the trial, Cecil committed suicide. So all charges were dropped with the lady from Texas and the stepdaughters. And of course, no formal charges were ever brought against Cecil concerning Amanda Lankey. So the only charges that were ever brought concerning the Amanda Lankey case were charges to Cecil's sister Candace and her son Marcus. They both pled guilty to perjury in the Amanda Lankey case. Candace, coincidentally, was a City of White Cloud police officer, and she had been coaching the family on how to talk and not talk to the police, and also how to contaminate crime scenes. There had been allegations of some extensive cleaning done at the Wallace house. She had made references, according to the court documents, to leave cigarette butts at crime scenes. But she said that he did not kill Amanda. But Candace and her son Marcus received very, very lenient sentences for their part of the investigation, or crimes against the investigation, I should say, however you want to say it. So, there you have it. The solved but unsolved case of Amanda Lankey. I will post the interview from the lady from Texas in the description below. And I also want to thank Amanda's sister Wanda for helping me with this vlog and answering some questions for me and helping me with the timeline so I could be a little bit more accurate with things. Just sad case where, you know, you're a teenager and you're supposed to make mistakes in life, and but the biggest mistake you make is that costs you your life is agreeing to spend the night at your friend's house. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.